It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, glad to be back with you on this Tuesday here in Greater West Bloomfield.
Oh, Tyler, you already know what I have to say. Another day, another opportunity to talk to the community. I'm happy to be here, Tyler. Let's go ahead and get into it.
That's a special day for us, too, as our team here at Civic Center TV, and of course, and especially today at 89.3 Lakes FM, recognizes National Radio Day, your very own local radio station, 89.3 Lakes FM, also celebrating this time of the year, 1974. Yes, 50 years ago it first went on the air over at West Bloomfield High School, located originally in the senior pod over at the high school, eventually moved over to room C901 at the high school, where it stood until July of 2001. Throughout the years, it went through a few different iterations over at West Bloomfield High School before it moved into where you're seeing on your screen on CivicCenterTV.com in one of our editing studios here at Civic Center TV, and eventually all over our studio and around the community in what is now known simply as Lakes FM. Among those that were part of the team over the years, you saw on your screen Dave Scott, a WBLD alum from his days at West Bloomfield High School, our executive director of our cable commission, Dave Alberry, longtime broadcasting teacher at West Bloomfield High School as well. And back in those days, they were on the air from 7:30 a.m. until 10 p.m. And here we are, 8:30 a.m., our earliest time for our live programming throughout the day, each and every day, and that includes here on Lakes FM, continuing a great tradition as so many other radio stations are across the world on this National Radio Day, Kevin.
I'm so happy to be a part of that history. That was some great history breakdown for us real quick, Tyler. But National Radio Day, I'm happy to be a part of it. Like I said, radio has been part of my life for a long time as a listener and as someone working or actually on the air. So I'm happy to be a part of the 89.3 Lakes FM team and history now. That was nice.
Yeah, part of what we're doing here at Lakes FM and nowadays is keeping the community updated on everything happening across Greater West Bloomfield, and of course being part of some of those moments ourselves along the way. Here in Greater West Bloomfield, some very interesting stuff happening out in the field on this National Radio Day as well. Bringing some art into Greater West Bloomfield, including over at the Town Hall complex. Joining us live on site with more details on that, our very own Jake Schaff. Jake.
Yes, Tyler, Kevin, good morning. A very chilly morning, might I add, as fall is definitely starting to creep its way, and summer might be coming to an end very, very soon. But yes, I'm here live at the Civic Center Township area, and as you can see behind me, a bunch of cars over here, definitely something to look out for. There is some road work happening right around this area, in between where the library is and the police station right across the street. It's a common place for people to turn into where the library is. They're going to have to make a little bit of a detour around to get to the library. But yes, they will be working there. Apparently, it's going to be working with some form of art installation. Not a lot of information is known yet at the moment, but definitely some work is being done here at the campus, and it's something to look out for.
Yeah, something that's going to definitely be an attraction over there. In the meantime, it's something to look out for as you're over at Town Hall on what's supposed to be a beautiful day throughout a beautiful week. Take a walk through there, maybe see that artwork in progress, and we'll continue to do that on our side, Jake, as Town Hall is a place that's very wide open. There's a lot to do over there. There's already plenty of art there, so really a pretty good location, too, really centrally located in that Town Hall complex.
Absolutely. It should be a great addition to this area. Something nice to help tie everything together. I mean, it's already a very beautiful city, and something like this is just going to make it even more beautiful, Tyler. I can't wait.
Well, Jake, we'll keep you over there to get some more information on that, and we'll report back later on in the program or later on this week if we're able to get anything out of that and learn more about what exactly is going in over there, but some exciting news happening, and in the meantime, expect some delays over there. Jake Schaff with us live at West Bloomfield's Civic Center campus, right next door to us on Walnut Lake Road at this time. And Kevin, a great place, as Jake had said, as I had said too, to put some artwork in there. We know the township really values art here, between a couple of art galleries that have been in the greater West Bloomfield area. We've got the Janice Cherick Gallery over in the J over at the Jewish Community Center, as it was formerly known, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. So kind of a perfect place to encapsulate the community's love for art at the community's house there at Town Hall.
We've been talking a little bit more about the importance of art, especially for an example in like the STEAM programs. Like that is consistent of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And it's like art kind of stands out because it's not like as intricate with numbers and things like that, or logistical as it is with everything else. It's more on a creative side. So I love that we're bringing out the importance of art right here in our community. I love that we're actually displaying that in different places. And the fact that we don't know too much about it, I love that it's going to be a bit of a surprise too.
Yeah, and so we'll keep it up to date on that. We'll certainly be out there when that is installed to show you that as you head throughout your day, or give you something to look forward to seeing later on over at Town Hall. But some exciting news over there from Jake Schaffner as you go over there. But definitely you want to keep in mind as you're over at Town Hall, there will be some detours today as they're putting in that art installation. As you saw when we were over there, a part of the roadway will be blocked off. You'll have a limited amount of area to get into the library side of that parking lot, but nonetheless, that is going to be a really cool thing to have there at the West Bloomfield Town Hall complex. So good news over at Town Hall. Unfortunately, not all good news across our community. We got a report from the West Bloomfield Police Department who made an announcement that late last week there was a child predator incident here in our community, and the alleged criminal has been apprehended. We'll have more information on that. We'll talk to the West Bloomfield Police Department and give you everything that you need to know on that coming up just shortly. Stay with us live, local, social. It's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash, live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, joined alongside Kevin McIntosh. Last week, Thursday, around 1 a.m., a scary incident here in our community. Out at Pine Lake Park, a vehicle was found on site after hours. Of course, our parks all close after sundown across our community through the West Bloomfield Parks Network. And so when an officer was on regular patrol and saw a vehicle on site at Pine Lake Park, they, of course, investigated. And upon doing so, found a couple of individuals on site at the park. And went and investigated further. Turns out that ended up being an alleged criminal sexual conduct situation involving a minor here in our community. The suspect was then apprehended and charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Here to join us to talk about this incident here in our community is the Deputy Police Chief of the West Bloomfield Police Department and their Public Information Officer, Dale Young. Thank you for being with us, Deputy Chief.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, happy to have you on to talk about this and clear this up for the community, because the suspect has been apprehended, a 25-year-old male that was not from within West Bloomfield. It was someone from outside of our community. Take us through what happened and how your department ultimately brought this alleged criminal in.
Yes, thank you, Tyler. So, as you mentioned, this incident occurred on the early morning hours of Thursday, August 15th, 2024. That's when we had one of our midnight officers was on routine patrol in one of our closed parks located at 3333 West Long Lake Road. And while patrolling, observed a parked vehicle and saw two individuals nearby. So after doing that investigation, he learned that an adult male had just engaged in alleged criminal sexual conduct with a minor female child. And shortly thereafter, that individual was placed under arrest and taken into custody. Later, they were charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, and that was on Friday, August the 16th. And they were issued a $3 million bond and lodged in the Oakland County Jail. The suspect is a Joshua Charleston Brown Hill, 25-year-old Detroit resident. And Tyler, at this time, I want to make sure that everyone understands that individuals described as being suspects, being wanted, or having been arrested are presumed innocent until a finding of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law.
Of course, and this is an open investigation at this time. The alleged is in custody in the Oakland County Jail, awaiting that trial following that arraignment, with the $3 million bond being put up as well on Friday after that arraignment. But Deputy Chief, this brings up an important topic this time of the year, because at this time, this incident has been, for better for worse, resolved in terms of the information that we know and any threat that may be out there to the public. But in a general sense, we're heading back to school. Our kids are going to be back out and about, very busy this time of the year, and around a lot of other people, including around adults. So as we take into context what happened here and what we know about what happened here, how should parents address this situation as a learning experience for their kids and even amongst themselves as parents?
Yes, Tyler. One of the things I want to reiterate what you said there is that there is no danger to the public, and our parks are safe.
Yeah.
And as we are returning back to school, I think this is a great reminder for parents to go back to the fundamentals. And some of those fundamentals of keeping kids safe is having an open dialogue with their kids about everything in their life. Know who they're talking with on the phone, over the internet, and in person. Know where they are and who they're with. And seek help and guidance. There are a number of great resources available, such as the West Bloomfield School District under their Parents tab. If you go to Safety and Well-Being, there is a variety of resources for parents. I would also highly recommend checking out the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition and also the parentguidance.org website. These are just some of the resources that are available.
Yeah, and these are great resources that can provide information on talking to your kids about these issues, on addressing some of these issues, on setting some of those boundaries. You mentioned the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition. That's gwbcoalition.org for more information. You can also find them on social media like Facebook as well. We'll have plenty more information and events throughout the year for helpful information on this and other topics. But we're lucky in our community that this is incredibly uncommon, that we have an incident like this in Greater West Bloomfield, whether it's in West Bloomfield Township or our neighboring Tri-Cities communities that we also cover here. But that doesn't mean that these incidents don't happen or can't develop and maybe even come close to having an incident like we had at Pine Lake Park last week. So in your experience, in the police department's experience, especially today, how do these situations typically develop? What should we be looking out for as a potential danger that could put our kids in harm's way?
Well, Tyler, a lot of the fundamental things that I mentioned previously are things that parents can do. However, I will say that there are times that parents do everything that they can, and unfortunate situations like this may still occur. And I'd like to say that if that happens, that they should call the police for help. And if it's an active emergency, to call 911. If the situation is not active, to call the non-emergency phone number at 248-975-9200.
And it's good to get that information from our police department and to give that information too. If you have some information on incidents that may be of concern, even if it's something that's just a little bit suspicious. And when you're out in the community, we want to be thinking about, of course, our kids and our families, but we want to be looking out for others also. We mentioned going back to school and being on these school activities. A lot of times there are people that, and there's that element of stranger danger, but it's also people that we're familiar with that can also be the perpetrators of these sorts of criminal incidents, Dale. And so, what should people be doing if they do have these suspicions? How do they take that to that next level where they report it or where they address that issue without potentially putting themselves or that child in harm?
Sure. So there's a variety of ways that they can make these police reports. One is to call us and we'll come out to their home and we'll take that police report there. If they do not feel comfortable with that, then they can come to our police department, which is open 24/7, and we can take the police report at that location, as well as develop a safety plan with the parent and the child. And that's always going to vary depending on what variables are at play.
We're joined by Dale Young. He is the Deputy Police Chief and the Public Information Officer with the West Bloomfield Township Police Department as we talk about an incident that happened last week Thursday around 1 a.m. where a suspect was apprehended at Pine Lake Park after an alleged 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. He is being held at this time, a 25-year-old male from outside of our community being held at the Oakland County Jail. Deputy Chief, as we think about the modern context of our times and our kids and the scenarios that they're in, how much of an impact has the web had in these incidents becoming not necessarily more common, but maybe easier for our kids to get into some of these difficult situations that could be potentially harmful?
Yes. So the internet is fantastic for bringing all sorts of information to our fingertips. But unfortunately, with that comes a lot more access to our kids. And so I cannot reiterate enough how important it is that parents set up boundaries, that they know exactly what their children are looking at and who they're talking to online.
More information from the West Bloomfield Police Department on this and other cases across our community as that information comes through can be found on Facebook at West Bloomfield PD. And you can also find more information on getting in contact with our police department if you have some questions or you want to get some advice at wbtownship.org. Deputy Chief, before we let you go, anything else that we should know about this situation or be keeping in mind as we reflect on what happened in our community?
The main message I want to get out right now is, again, that the parks are safe and there's no danger to the public.
Well, we appreciate that, and we're always glad to hear that, as we know these are very uncommon in our community, these sorts of incidents, but when they do happen, our police department very quick to respond, as they were in this case. Thank you so much for your time, Deputy Chief.
Thank you.
Deputy Chief Dale Young with the West Bloomfield Township Police Department joining us to talk about this. And Kevin, really important, especially right now as we're approaching the first day of school in the West Bloomfield School District, as many other schools across our state, even this week, beginning to go back to school. And this applies to people of all different ages. It's not just our younger kids that are at the bus stop or are at a sporting event or are hanging out with their friends and going for a walk in their neighborhood. This happens to anybody at any age that could have this threat to them in our community or in others. And so really great advice as we reflect on a scary situation out at Pine Lake Park.
It's really sad and unfortunate to even hear that it happened in the first place, but I'm so happy to hear that our local law enforcement was right on top of it to stop it and to end it right there at that point. So that I am glad to hear, but ultimately there are a bunch of different lessons to learn from this, as you all just talked about, discussed. As a parent myself, it definitely hits home for me to actually make sure that I'm communicating with my child as he gets older and things of that nature, and always knowing where they are and their whereabouts. So great interview, by the way, and thank you again to Deputy Chief Dale Young.
Yeah, we appreciate the police department's quick response to that as we reached out to them to get some word on that today as they released that information on Monday after that arrest was made on Thursday, and of course the arraignment on Friday, apprehending that an individual who, again, as Deputy Chief Dale Young had mentioned, is innocent, presumed innocent until proven guilty. The alleged is in Oakland County Jail at this time, and again, no threat to the public is considered. Our parks are secure and safe at this time, as the police department had said. Kevin, on a more positive note, as we look to the first days of school, we look toward a lot of what our kids will be learning in the classroom and how they can apply that in everyday life through creativity, through ingenuity, and whether they're learning in the classroom or building toward that future career. STEAM education, as they call it, in the greater West Bloomfield area, playing a huge role in all of that.
Yeah, we mentioned it slightly earlier in the show, just talking about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, all great essential types of skills that we all need to teach our younger generation, or that they should know in order to progress further in the future. So join us right here on the Splash Live to actually talk a little bit more about the STEAM program at West Bloomfield School District. We have Assistant Superintendent for Learning Services Scott Long and Elementary Curriculum Consultant Amy Quinn. Thank you both for being here, and take us through the breakdown of how STEAM programs are operated across the grade levels here in West Bloomfield.
One of the things in our school district that we're so proud of are all the opportunities and platforms and avenues and pathways that our kids have, especially at the high school level with all of our advanced placement programming, with our CTE programming, our theater, athletics. One of the great niches that we have at the high school as well is a Project Lead the Way STEAM program. Students have to meet criteria to be able to get into it, and it just gives them an opportunity to learn and have access to, like we talked about, science, technology, engineering, arts, math, project-based learning that gives them a glimpse of what they might be able to do into their future. We also have that Project Lead the Way programming and STEAM programming at the middle school level. So as we transition this year into 4 K-5 elementary buildings, which is a significant shift from our past when we had K-2, 3, 5 buildings, we asked ourselves the question, what would it look like if we provide that elementary experience, same kind of pathway as the middle school and high school, so that we can create that vertical alignment and give kids an eye and a window into their future? What would it look like if they said, oh, I can do that at middle school, or I can do that at high school, and then beyond, I can do this in real life? So that's basically the premise of the program. At the elementary level, like I said, we're utilizing Project Lead the Way curriculum, and I'm just going to let Amy talk a little bit about some of the exciting units of study that our kids K through 5 are going to have the opportunity to experience.
Thank you. So looking at Project Lead the Way, something that is very unique about it is the students are able to really have some like hands-on experience through activities, but then put it together with problem solving, really kind of transfer all of their learning into some kind of project.
Okay.
So we're focusing on computer science and engineering for our modules during our STEAM program. And one example would be they're actually creating a video game. And they're actually creating different things on Scratch Junior. So they understand all of the components of coding, first starting with an unplugged project to really understand what that means, and then apply it to something such as creating their own game.
Interesting. Creating video games. Yeah, that is wow. That is something that you can automatically draw people. I mean, especially the youth. You're combining something that all kids or the youth like in video games and technology, and then you're making it educational also. I think that is the greatest way to integrate education into the things that our students like and capture their attention. So great explanation right there. Kind of going back to you real quick, Amy, I'm curious about this. My own brain going off again. STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. The only thing that kind of stands out to me in that is art. It's not like math or science, technology, engineering, which all require some type of formal education and math and things of that nature. Tell me why art is just as important as the rest of those.
Yes, I love that question. So when you look at art, art is how we design things, how the user is going to use something, or how the product is going to look. And so whenever we do create something and design something, art is important. And so in every project that they
Hmm.
do, they talk about the whole design, creative expression, different ways to really show things through art.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, Amy. And what a great question. I even think too, you think about the visual sense of art, the design aspect of art, but even thinking about the arts in general, you can make that connection to language arts, right? We all know the importance of
Hmm.
being able to
Yeah.
write well and read well, and using that across content areas and across different disciplines to be able to master your craft, right? So it's so important for our kids to make those connections across the curriculum and across what they may experience in their lives as effective readers and writers and designers.
We love to see that and hear that also. And encouraging art. Trust me, I love art and everything that has to do with it. So I love that you're encouraging that. And with us right here on the Splash Live, talking about the STEAM program within West Bloomfield School District, Assistant Superintendent for Learning Services, Scott Long, as well as Elementary Curriculum Consultant, Amy Quinn, just talking about STEAM and its importance with all of the elements involved also. So kind of getting back to you, Scott, do you have any specific examples of success stories from students or people that have attended some of your STEAM programs?
Yeah, so like I said, the elementary, this is the first start. So we're going to see those experiences and success stories. But what I can tell you is this last year, I walked into a middle school classroom, Project Lead the Way STEAM program, and the designs and the things that our students are doing. So for example, one of the things I saw was they were making a prosthetic leg to help people in the real world. And I'm walking around the classroom and just looking at kids' designs, and they're explaining how they designed it to help the patient, and just the level of thinking that involved, and how proud they were to show
Yeah.
off their project to an
Mm-hmm.
audience and to myself. Their eyes
Mm-hmm.
just light up. Or another great example is
Yeah.
they're at the middle school level, they're creating an app, and the app is really just designed to be able to give people access to like health opportunities or consumer opportunities. They're coding it, they're doing the aesthetic design, and they're really thinking about problems in the community and how to meet the needs of consumers in the world. And again, the way that they light up when they're engaged in those activities, that breathes life into me as an educator and as a person helping lead the district.
I love that right there. I love that. It's so, like we said, it's just so important for kids to see that, to make that connection, make it fun also. And I love the fact that you all are actually combining all of that together. So such a great thing. Amy, asking you real quick, I've been hearing video game development, app development, things of that nature, and I'm also hearing that there's different levels of the STEAM elementary, middle, high school. I know we talked about, like we said, video games and the middle schoolers designing apps. What type of things are the elementary school kids doing also? I'm not sure if we touched on that.
Yeah, that'd be great to explain. And so starting in elementary, right away, they're doing some, we call it unplugged activities. So it's coding,
Right, right,
but it's
right, right.
actually using arrows to program something. So they
Mm.
understand what that means to program something. And so we start with unplugged, and then we move right into Scratch Junior. Scratch Junior is a really fun, engaging. It's this little like sprite, I believe it's called, and that's your kind of character. And then you program the character to move certain ways. You can design a setting, a background, and you can eventually then program it to do things. And so it really breaks it down at a young age, so
Mm.
in kindergarten, so they understand that whole idea. And I think Scott talked about the vertical alignment,
Yeah.
and the design process
Right,
is
right.
introduced in kindergarten, and then it's continued throughout the entire program of Project Lead the Way. So that
So
design process is going to be nice because the young students are going to know it and experience it, and they have to, kind of
Mm-hmm.
think things through, work together as a team, test it
Right.
out. If it doesn't work, what do? You've got to improve it. So that's going to be neat.
And how awesome is it going to be when we have our high schoolers or our middle schoolers go visit the elementaries
Yes.
while they're in that class and show them some of the types of things that they're
Yeah.
doing, so that kids can envision, oh, I get to do this down the road,
Good
right?
point.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention Jennifer Ladd's class had me come in for
That's
app creator.
right. Yeah.
And so they designed an app for me. And they actually like
Ooh.
had questions for me. The whole team sat down. Different students had different questions for me. If I needed an app for our literacy team, what would I want? And then they created some things. They asked for some files and some pictures, and everything that I mentioned, they designed. Then they got my feedback, and anything that I, mentioned I kind of wanted to change or I wanted to add something extra, they did it. And so it was a neat experience because the students were leading it and the students were doing what they're going to be doing in real life.
Yeah, which when you talk about like design and thinking critically and working within a group, collaborating, accessing and leveraging people's strengths within a group and really letting those shine, like those are the types of things that kids get really excited about. We know our kids love to create, and there's nothing that they like less than when they're learning something and it has no application or relevance to their lives. So when you have a program like this that gives them choice and voice, the opportunity to create and work within a group, I think it just sets kids on fire.
I think you all just really pointed out everything that we needed to know, all the benefits and why people should be a part of it. Now, if I'm reading this correct, I'm seeing that the openings have closed to sign up for the STEAM program for this school year, if I'm not mistaken. But if people are interested for next school year or just want to learn more information, Scott, start with you. Please give out that information. And Amy, any additional information for the community you want to add on after?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I would say in terms of our residents within the district, we have NWEA testing cycles in the fall, winter, and spring. And what we do is we're consistently reviewing that data for any student that has not yet qualified for the program. And when we identify a student that meets that criteria, we immediately reach out to the family. So we'll continue to do that this year. Okay. And then for our school of choice families that live outside of the district, we have a school of choice application window in the winter, typically opens up around December, January. Any family within Oakland County can apply. From there, we collect test scores, administer assessments, report cards, and we see if they meet the criteria and then onboard them to the West Bloomfield School District.
Nice. Amy, any additional information that we may have missed for the community?
No, we just appreciate so much sharing and we want to continue. So please look out throughout the year, some of the projects that we're doing, some of the celebrations that we have with our STEAM program, and we would love to share more.
I'd like to just say one more thing, if it's okay. I don't know if we're getting close on time here, but I want to just give a huge shout out to Amy Quinn, who has just been a cheerleader and champion for the programming at the elementary level, but also across the district, whether she's leading and supporting robotics in our school district or Lego League or just inspiring teachers. And yeah, she's amazing. And we've had some huge teacher leadership this summer as we get ready for elementary. A shout out to Shahenda Van Nostrand, Monica Hamrick, Colleen Mestog, Sophia Hanifi, Andrea Hill. They've all spent time. Tammy Tucker Whelan. How did I forget her? She's our art teacher. And she's one of our art teachers. And they have been so pumped up. A, do training in the summer, and B, collaborate with Amy to give the best experience for our kids. And it's greatly appreciated. They've given up time in the summer to get this thing ready to go.
We're ready.
Absolutely. Yes. And we definitely thank you and appreciate you both for all of your work, the entire staff, and definitely appreciate you for being here in general. Assistant Superintendent for Learning Services, Scott Long, and Elementary Curriculum Consultant, Amy Quinn. Thank you so much for being here talking about STEAM and West Bloomfield School District.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Once again, a lot of great information stuffed into one great interview. Like we talked about earlier, Tyler, the difference that art makes or the connection that it actually have with science, technology, engineering, and math. And I love that they actually expounded on that a little bit more, made that connection and correlation. But overall, great program for our students and our youth right here in West Bloomfield School District.
And it's something that's become a really solid emphasis for all the curriculum across West Bloomfield and many other school districts too that may not add the A in the middle of STEM education, but that those arts do play a big role in that. It's creativity that goes along with understanding the technology that needs to go into it, the processes that need to go into a lot of these things that are becoming critical parts of our society or critical aids to our society in so many different sectors going forward. So really interesting stuff happening over in the West Bloomfield School District as we get ready to start the 2024-25 school year. More information on that on WBSD.org. But Kevin, a very interesting fall also ahead with some of those favorite events we have outside with the leaves falling from the trees in our parks, and even some more additional fun coming up very soon.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to talk about a lot of different changes happening in the fall in general around the area, but specifically with West Bloomfield Parks and their fall programs and events. I don't want to waste too much time. I want to get straight to it. So with me right here live on the Splash from WB Parks, we have Marketing and Communications Manager Megan Tahako. Thank you for being here, Megan. I just want to get straight into it. What new programs and initiatives are we expecting from WB Parks in the fall segment?
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Fall is probably our favorite time around here. We have so many events going on, and it's just such a season of tradition for us. We have a lot of events that people really look forward to every year. They're really staples in the community. So while we have added a few new events for our fall lineup, we certainly are bringing back some of our old favorites as well. So we do have one of the new / kind of was new many years ago, and then it went away, and now it's coming back, is our Bowl with Santa event. We haven't hosted that since before COVID, so we're really excited to be bringing that back. That's at Wonderland Lanes on December 7th, so that's a new one. And then another new event that we're offering for our seniors is our Senior Health Showcase, and that'll be over at Connect, our senior center, and we're going to be bringing in about 30 health-related vendors for seniors to come and meet with and learn about their services. And we'll have all kinds of great refreshments and raffle prizes and all kinds of fun things happening that day. And that takes place on October 2nd.
I like that because it seems like that's another example of WB Parks listening to what the community needs and then actually going in and providing that. So the great things that we have, new initiatives and programs. So we're actually seeing a few, like we said, common things. Also, we have the trick or treat trail, camp out at Marshbank Park, mother-son dance, just a bunch of different things going on. But I want to talk about from the planning perspective of it. Can you just go into what it takes to actually plan these, include some of the challenges and successes?
Yeah, absolutely. So we plan these events at least 6 months out. We pick the dates. We're already picking dates for 2025 events right now. So we do plan really, really far in advance. I would say some of the challenges that we're dealing with currently is really just the cost of everything. So, we have our traditional events that we host year and year again, but the costs that go into putting those events on continues to rise as with, everything right now. So trying to still offer those events within a reasonable price point has definitely been a challenge, and our staff is really working to try to come up with some creative solutions, some partnerships with businesses, anything we can do to try to keep our costs low so that all members of the community can take advantage.
I definitely understand that and get that. Putting things in perspective, that's the side of the business or the planning that we don't, as residents, really think about until we actually get the news that, oh, this event isn't offered anymore or whatever the case may be, and then we're kind of wondering why. But just to prevent that, not prevent that, but present that as a challenge, now it puts a little bit more perspective on it, even from a resident side. So thank you for at least being honest about that. With us right here live on the Splash from WB Parks Marketing and Communications Manager Megan Tahako, talking about the 2024 Fall Guide programs, initiatives, events going on right here in our community. Now, we already mentioned some of the senior events that we all are planning. With that increased focus on senior events, how is WB Parks adapting its programs to meet the evolving needs of our senior population in West Bloomfield?
Yeah, so we're continuing to offer more programs at our Senior Center Connect. We actually have some grant-funded programs that we kicked off towards the end of this summer, but they're continuing through the fall, so some people might not know about them. The vast majority of those grant-funded programs are completely free for residents to take advantage of. One in particular that I'm excited about is it's called our Single Mingle Happy Hour. And so that takes place on select Fridays. And basically it's just a fun way to get everyone together. We'll have live entertainment, a different musician for each of the events, and then there will be fun mocktails for each one. So just a great way to bring seniors together, to mingle, have fun in an informal setting. But there's also laughing yoga that's completely free. We have a men's support group. So all these programs are completely free because they were funded through a grant.
Nice. Hey, Megan, I have a lot more questions, but I don't want to hold you up too much longer. We want to keep the program running, but I do want to give you this last opportunity. Anything that we missed or anything important that you want to discuss or talk about or just give out to the community regarding the 2024 Fall Guide for WB Parks?
Sure. One event that we didn't really touch on that I wanted to mention is our High Tops and High Heels event.
Please.
This is a mother-son dance, and it's been highly requested. We've hosted it at different places over the years, but I'm really excited to say that we're going back to Glen Oaks Country Club, which is where we initially hosted the event, and we had lots of requests to go back there. So we were finally able to do it this year. So we're really looking forward to that event. It includes a dinner. We'll have professional photographers there if you want to purchase photos. The DJ will have all kinds of fun activities going on. That's on November 22nd. So I would just encourage any moms that might be interested in that to check it out. And then I want to encourage everyone to register, save your spots early for these events. I know the camp out event is over halfway full already. Our trick or treat trail will definitely sell out. So make sure if you're interested in these events that you save your spot sooner than later. And you can do that at wbparks.org.
There we go. Perfect place to land the plane, Megan. Thank you so much for your time. Very, very valuable information. Also, marketing and communications manager for WB Parks. Ladies and gentlemen, Megan Tahako. Thank you again.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on, Tyler. I'm already looking forward. As a true Michigandiander, I love the fall season. We love the foliage and all of that. So to add some activities into it, man, and get us ready, I think that's very exciting. Give us something to look forward to.
Yeah, and now that that's all opened up, this is a perfect time for people to go and register for those events, put them on their calendars, get those plans ahead. We know the fall gets busy really quick with all that fun, trying to soak that last little bit of sunshine and warm weather out of our seasons before we head into winter. And there's so much fun to have here in Greater West Bloomfield at this time of the year. That's also the case not only in our recreation community, but in our business community. Plenty of fun to be had going forward and opportunities to grow your network and to grow your business with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. September and onward, an exciting time for their team as well. And joining us to give us the details on some of the fun things coming up is Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. We welcome you now to the program. Thanks, Suzanne.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm hoping we're not falling out of summer too soon.
Yeah, not too soon, but we want to make sure everyone's prepared for all the good stuff that's happening in the chamber coming up in the fall as we head toward that season. That includes the next edition of Cup of Connections, a really fun event that helps to get businesses out and about and communicating with one another. Tell us about this opportunity and when the next one is coming up.
Well, we're always excited to host our local businesses, to invite people to our Cup of Connections. It's sort of a play on word because they have a cup of coffee, and hopefully they'll be able to connect with some new partners that can help support their businesses. Our next one is September 13th, Friday, September the 13th, but for some people it is a good luck day, not necessarily a bad luck day. And it's at Resurgence Physical Therapy on Maple Road. And it's really a great, actually a medical business. It's a physical therapy where it's a one-on-one physical therapy. But what's great about these Cup of Connections is that they host different businesses in our community that people might not even know exist, even though they've been there for, 10, maybe 20 years. So we invite the community to attend. If they're a non-chamber member, we ask that they give $10. And usually we even send that money to a charity. But it's just a really great way to connect with new people and network, because we know that this will never replace all the advertising in the world. Getting people to know you and trust you, especially if it involves health and money, those are trust issues. So the more you can connect with new people, the better off you are as far as planting seeds to get that forest of connections you desire.
And it's interesting too because it's not just a coffee and networking event that's happening at a local coffee shop. And that's not a knock against any of our local coffee shops. They're great businesses that would be a great place for this to happen. But to get all these different businesses in various sectors to be able to host this, to get people in their doors and see what they're all about, whether it's business owners or just people out in the community looking to grow their network, I'd imagine too that has quite an impact on people getting to know their local businesses.
It really does. I remember one of my favorite ones was at Schuler's Bookstore, which is an amazing, we're so fortunate that they chose West Bloomfield. But I don't think people realize that there is a great need for people that, like me, that likes to actually hold a physical book. And we had a great turnout, and it was really surprising. There are people that haven't been there, and Schuler's has been there for at least over a year. And so we welcome all our community, and we actually have people from other communities that come to attend these events because they know that people in West Bloomfield, A, are probably a little bit more affluent, and B, that they will drive to a different area, and people drive here to do business in West Bloomfield.
More information on the Cup of Connections event happening on Friday, September 13th. At Resurgence, physical therapy can be found on westbloomfieldchamber.com. Again, free to attend for those who are chamber members, and you can become a member on their website, or $10 for non-members to attend. So it's open to everybody to get to know some of our local businesses in greater West Bloomfield. And Suzanne, not only is your chamber doing a lot of this great work, we have others that have very similar members or crossover members of our chambers across the community, including our neighboring Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce. You're partnering with them again this year for another very special event that will get people not only outdoors and supporting our local businesses, but out and getting some activity too on the links.
Absolutely. September 23rd, we're doing our Chamber Cup Challenge, and it's really important that we win this year. So I'm inviting all golfers, hopefully really good ones, to come and join us. It's a great event. A lot of business is done on golf courses. Unfortunately, I don't golf, but I'll be driving around the golf cart, handing out snacks and water and encouraging our players. I love collaborating with other chambers. I think it's really important to expand your network. This is a great event, and there's a lot of sponsorships still left. So I hope people will join us. They can go to our website, westbloomfieldchamber.com, and learn more about it, about sponsorships, about playing golf. And it's just a really wonderful event to get out in the community and, see what's going on with other chamber members.
And I know that playing golf is, not an inexpensive activity too, to get out there and meet some people, some potential business partners. You got to get out there, play a round of golf, get dinner, get some drinks also with them. That can run you up a little bit, but $135 per golfer to participate in this event. You get 2 chambers worth of businesses, round of golf, drink tickets, lunch on the turn, games and prizes, a buffet, dinner, awards ceremony. There's so much that goes into this that you're getting out of that $135. And you're running out of time. Only a few more weeks left to register. Monday, September 9th is the deadline for that. Suzanne Levine is with us, the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. So much going on in our community to help our local business owners and professionals like you expand your network right here in your hometown. Perhaps the best opportunity for that and to get some really good insight from some titans in our community comes up actually in October. Once again, the Chamber's Leadership Luncheon is back at Wabi Country Club October 8th. 11 a.m. and again featuring Casey Crane from Crane Communication as well as Roop Raj and Suzanne. This is a great opportunity for people to pick the brains of some experts who have really seen the forefront of the growth of our business community in Metro Detroit, which of course affects us right here at home.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate that these 2 fabulous individuals with such an extensive background in not only news media, but also what's going on locally, regionally, and globally are back. They were phenomenal last year. And our audience asked, could they please return? I was hoping that they could perhaps do a synopsis after the election, but they said it would be probably too chaotic. So they're going to, give us their perspective of, what's going on, how they think the business community is going to react to either party's, victory. And they're just so great. I don't think people understand the true expanse of Crane Communications. It is a global network. So we're so fortunate to have them back. It's $55. I believe it's $55, or no, I think it's $65 for chamber members. I have to look at that, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
65 for members, 75 for non-members.
Unfortunately, because I like to do a lot of free events, but if something costs me, then unfortunately I have to cover, our costs as well. But it is such a great event. There's still sponsorships left. We have a lot of great, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, again, is one of our sponsors. So we have Orchard Mall and others. And I do believe that Civic Center TV, once again, is going to be covering this great event. And we're hoping to have, greater coverage, locally and even nationally. So we're really excited about it. Go to our website, westbloomfieldchamber.com, or they can call me at 248-626-3636 or email me at wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com for more information. But this is such a great event to meet, local leaders in our community and network and perhaps do some business.
And it could not be, Suzanne, at a more important time for our business community, roughly a month out from the elections when that's going to happen. Certainly the talk in politics at that time and following that election is going to have a huge impact on our business community, but also their expertise, both Roop and Casey, in communications and modern day communications, which also really affect our businesses, because gone are the days where if you had advertising on TV and on radio, on print, on billboards, you were in the front lines. Today, anybody can be when it comes to communication, and all they need is a cell phone, or all they need is their laptop with them and a little bit of expertise. So they're also going to have an opportunity to ask some questions of these individuals that have been able to master that or see how people have mastered that too. And that can have a really big impact on growing businesses in Greater West Bloomfield.
Absolutely. There's so many options today for people to, connect. But I really do believe that nothing will ever replace the one-on-one connection. No matter how many flyers you send out, no matter how much social media you're on, when you get to actually be in front of someone and make a connection, I do believe that has more of a lasting impact. So I think it's just such a great event. I love being able to offer this to our community. We've had some really great speakers in our community. Tom Wilson, who used to be with Olympia Entertainment. We've had sports figures. We've had all different kinds of luminaries. So this is just a great way for average people to meet people that they might not be able to come into contact with and ask those important questions and perhaps, make some sort of lasting positive impression.
We'll have coverage of that and so much more from the Chamber coming up in the coming months. You can get involved in everything that they're doing across our community, joining as a member, joining in on these events. All of that information on westbloomfieldchamber.com and on Facebook at West Bloomfield CC. Suzanne, before we let you go, anything else we should be keeping up to date on from our local chamber?
We have just scheduled our great Not So White Elephant charity party. We choose a small local charity every year, and our fabulous partner, Prime 29, is offering, again, the beautiful Aurora Italian restaurant. That's December 3rd. There'll be more information. It is such a great event because all the money goes to a small local charity. People just bring a small wrapped gift with at least $20. We raffle it off and we give all of it to the charity. So we will have a lot more great events coming up in 2025, which I can't even believe I'm saying 2025 at this point. So stay tuned to our chamber, and our young professional entrepreneur network is finally starting to get going again. So stay tuned for that. If you're 45 and under, these are great events. They're going to be educational as well as social. So please feel free to contact me. Look on our website and find out all the exciting things we're doing to connect our business to community.
Plenty more things going on to help your business here in Greater West Bloomfield. As we say in our business, stay tuned. Suzanne, thank you so much.
And thank you again for doing all that you do to keep our community informed.
We appreciate that, and we appreciate that it is appreciated in our community as well. And thank you for your continued partnership going forward. Suzanne Levine from the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. More information on everything happening with our local chamber, facebook.com/West Bloomfield CC. As we talk about things that are happening in our community and changes happening in our community, earlier on in the program we told you about a little bit of a traffic situation at the Town Hall complex, but all for good stuff. Some artwork going in at the Town Hall complex. We have an update on that from Jake Schaff back with us in our studio. Jake, what's the latest?
Yes, thank you, Tyler. I'm back here at the studio. Right before I left the township, I got a little more information from Chris Darcy, who provided a little more context on what's going on. So apparently, what that mural is that they're working on, it's something in conjunction with the Friendship Circle, and it's being done also in conjunction with their other companies, and it's being done to kind of highlight the relationship between them and the township. So that's currently what's being done in that area. And Chris also told me that work on that should be taking place until about Friday. That is if like weather permits and everything should be fine. Like everything should be fine. The weather's looking pretty nice for the next few days, but it should be done by about Friday. So that area is gonna remain boxed up probably until the weekend, maybe Monday at the latest. So a little bit of work done in the area. Might have to be a bit of a strange navigation around the township, but it's all for a great purpose, and I can't wait to see the end result.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that as the progress is made on that going forward. Appreciate the update, Jake.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyler.
Exciting things over at Town Hall, Kevin, as we move forward in our community. The Friendship Circle is supporting that artwork over there. We know they got a big event coming up, too, in September. Actually, it's September 1st, their Walk for Friendship, and we have information on that also on our website on civiccentertv.com. But, Kevin, we just talked about some businesses in our community growing and helping each other grow. Some new businesses coming in also in the Tri-City. Seafood Lovers, a new restaurant and market, is coming to the prettiest little city very soon. It will be going in at the old location of the butchery on Orchard Lake Road. Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet will be soon opening in that location. Much like the butchery, will offer some gourmet meats, but also fresh seafood, cheeses, and select beer and wine as well. No word yet on exactly when the doors will open for its very first day. We can expect that very soon after this announcement in our community. To keep up to date, they have launched their website, however, Kevin, lostsailorfish.com.
Nice, exciting, always good news to see new businesses come to the area because it's just a new energy, new flavor, give us something new just in general, but we just like supporting newer entrepreneurs and new things going on. So good luck to the Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet, looking to actually be doing some great things right here in our local area.
Yeah, a lot of reasons to smile out in Sylvan Lake with that exciting opportunity coming up. And then even more reasons on Wednesday night, some fun coming back to the Sylvan Lake Community Center. It's game night once again in the prettiest little city in Michigan at the Sylvan Lake Community Center beginning at 6:30. Card games, board games, of course, all the friendly people from across Sylvan Lake, and their monthly euchre tournament as well will be happening over there. But Kevin, even before that, the fun starts really at 5 o'clock, right after your workday is done. Get some dinner out there from Delectable, which will be on site. Make sure you are not hungry as you're playing those games. The only hunger you're going to have is for some victory in some friendly competition.
Look at you. I like the way you did that right there. But it seems like a good time, another reason to get out of the house, go out and see some people in the community, eat some good food, and just engage with some great activities and games, man. I love to see that in the community.
Yeah, we got a lot going on in the greater West Bloomfield community, a lot of fun ahead, things to mark your calendars for, things to keep out an eye for, and a lot of projects happening that will be very exciting for months and years to come across greater West Bloomfield. We will keep you updated on that all throughout the week right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. In the meantime, you're always up to date on CivicCenterTV.com, on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15, and on YouTube at Civic Center TV. For our entire team, Calvin Brown at Master Control, Jake Schaff, and Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thanks for tuning in to The Splash Live.